Hello everyone and welcome back to Milo Farms. Well, winter is definitely upon us here. We've got Christmas lights put up, we've got Thanksgiving behind us, and we're getting the sleds out and getting them ready for the season ahead. I already did all my services and everything on them, but you can check out all the videos that I have posted of all the different services, oil changes, lubrications, adjustments, different things like that for all these different sleds. Check those all out on my other videos. But today we are going to be taking a look at this 2007 Yamaha Phazer Mountain Light. And the issue we're having is we've got a small oil leak on the right-hand side that's appearing below the right-hand side of the engine near the chain case area. After doing a whole bunch of reading, it sounds like on these 2007s there was a small part that had been updated from the 2007 to the 2008 that allowed a misalignment of an oil tube in the chain case, where it takes the oil from the chain case into the reverse gearbox and then back again. So today we're going to take the chain case apart and see if we can identify the leak coming from that area, and then go ahead and order the parts and replace that little piece. If we get in there and find that's not the case, then we'll go forward with what that repair happens to be. So I've moved the sled from where it was stored over the summer, and also, where it was in the trailer and everything, into my workspace where I have lights and everything set up. But right onto the right-hand side, right down in this area, kind of near where that other stain is on the ground, is where I was finding that oil. So if you're having a leak in that area, this may be what you're looking for. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take off the right-hand side cover. And to do that, there's a bolt right here, a bolt here, a bolt right here, and a bolt right under there. Use the Allen wrench that came with the machine and take that right-hand side cover off. Those are about a quarter to a half a turn anti-clockwise, and then that whole side cover will come off. Next, you're going to want to take off the lower side cover on the same side. There's a bolt right here in the back that you're going to want to take off that loosens that, and then underneath there's a couple of 10mm bolts that you'll take off, and that whole side cover will come off. Now that the lower side cover is off, you can see some oil right there on the bottom, and that blue color is the same color as the chain case lubricant that I have. So that leads us in the direction that we do have some sort of a chain case leak. The chain case sits right over the top of where those drips are. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and take off the battery and its bracket. This little AGM battery that I have here, I picked these up on Amazon. They're a real good deal, last really well, and they don't leak everywhere. So you can check those out in the link in the description. But we'll go ahead and unbolt both the terminals here, do the negative first, then take off this strap and take the battery off, get it away. If you're going to leave the battery out of the machine for an extended period of time, it wouldn't hurt to probably throw that on a battery tender or something like that. And on these phasers, you want to keep a good eye on this little cord right here, this little ground. Those are known to kind of break somewhere in this area. On one of mine, I've had to replace the little terminal connector there. They're pulled pretty tight where all these wires come down. And then if I recall, there was also a recall involved somewhere in these wires as well. So you want to make sure that all those wires are accounted for and you get them back in. This one obviously has a battery tender adapter as well, so that's why there's the extra wire there. But go ahead and take those bolts out and pull the battery off. All right, the battery is out, and a couple things to note once you get the battery out for locations. This is your beeper right here for your reverse. Your fuse boxes are right here. Starter relay is down here, and then you have a bunch of relays behind here that do different things. And then there's also another fuse over here that does something, a larger fuse there, that green one. So next thing we're going to do is go ahead and take off the battery box, starting with the bolt on this side. There's another bolt on that right there, and then it looks like there's at least one more bolt underneath down here, and then there may be some more bolts behind the computer right there. We got the 3 bolts out that we talked about, and then there's another one right behind here, it appears. Then lastly, right here on the bottom of that oil tank, there was 2 zip ties. You want to release those, and then the entire part will lift up over the dipstick and fall back away from the machine, and you should be able to prop it like that so you can get to the chain case and everything else. Now that you've got it to this point, it is very simple to continue. It looks very similar to what a lot of older snowmobiles look like now that you've got the complicated stuff off from in front of it. So we'll go ahead and start on the emergency brake piece here, or parking brake. Go ahead and undo that bolt right there and undo this bolt right here. You may have to move the cam back and forth a little bit to get the second bolt, the one on the bottom, out. And once that's done, just lay it away from your work area or tie it up with some string or a bungee cord or something. And the parking brake is off and set up to the side. Next thing you're going to do is take off the brake caliper for the hydraulic regular brakes of the snowmobile. Go ahead and undo this bolt here, and there's another bolt down underneath. And you'll also have to release this zip tie. This is a reusable zip tie, so make sure you release it properly and then put it back. Then we'll be able to suspend that up in this area to the left so it's out of the way. Okay, we're down to the brake disc now, and what you're going to want to do is get a set of these snap ring pliers, I think is what they call them, and release this ring right here and pull off the disc, making sure that all the spacers are kept in the same order and position that they were when you found them. Okay, next thing we're going to do is go ahead and loosen the tension adjustment right here on the chain, and then we're going to go ahead and put an oil drain pan underneath, and then go ahead and take out the bolts holding the cover on. So you can see all the way around here there's a number of bolts here. We'll go ahead and take all those out, and also make sure you have a drain pan underneath it because it is going to drip some oil. So there it is with the cover off. You can see the tension came off the chain there, and the chain's just dangling. You can also see the tensioner right here that would be up, being held by the bolt that keeps the chain tension on. The cover is going to be full of a lot of oil, so if we flip it over, it's been sitting here draining for a little bit, but you want to make sure down in the bottom there's not a bunch of debris or big metal chunks or anything. That could indicate that you had more problems you need to look into. So next thing we're going to do is go ahead and take off the chain tensioner piece right here and lay the chain to the side just so we have some working room to see what we're looking at. So we've got the chain off and the tensioner off, and right here is the little part that is in question. So we're going to go ahead and take off that bolt right there, and it's a 10 millimeter. We're going to go ahead and take that off and pull out that little scoop. And there's also a rubber piece behind it. What we're expecting to see is that the rubber is a little bit damaged, and also that the alignment hole there is a little bit off. So there's what we're dealing with. So here's the parts next to each other for comparison. The ones on the left right here are the original. You can see the deformed rubber seal and also the shorter tip on this oil scoop, the longer tip on the new oil scoop, and then the brand new rubber that's not deformed. There's the part numbers for both right there. You can see right here the updated part number for the oil scoop. So we'll go ahead and get these put back in. So there's the hole that this goes back into, and I think what I'm going to do is put a very small amount of a gasket maker on the rubber when it goes in to hopefully help it seal a little bit better. I don't want to get too much in there that it's going to cause a problem and get in and clog an orifice or anything like that, so I'll put just a little tiny bit on it before I slide it in. So there's the rubber seal put in, and then I put just a little bit of oil on the tip of this to make it slip in that rubber hole right there. So there it is, all bolted back down. Don't want to forget the copper washer that goes behind and the copper washer that goes in front of the oil scoop. Then we'll go ahead and put everything back in the reverse order that we took it off. We'll put the chain back on and the tensioner, then the cover, and then all the pieces that go on the outside. So hope everybody enjoyed the video, and hopefully that can help fix up some sleds that are dripping oil similar to this one. And remember, you can't finish a project without getting started.